Hello, I'm Nicole Michelle, founder and femininity influencer for the Inner Beauty movement, where we are all about faith, family, and femininity. Welcome back to all of you returning, and welcome to all of you joining me for the very first time. Please like, subscribe, and share this video because we're going to get right into it. Today we're talking about women of faith and married women, single women, women of non-faith, and how we kind of limit ourselves and limit each other by the boxes that we create for other women. And in this movement, I want women to become more tolerant and accepting and loving and understanding of other women that may not have the same beliefs, lifestyles, or opinions that we have. For the last few decades, the feminist movement has prided themselves on fighting hard and making the argument to give women the right to choose whatever she wanted to do. And I'm making this video to make the argument that I believe in that. You can appreciate that argument whether you are feminist or not, and I am not one, but I do support that argument that I do believe women should have the right to choose. And in this particular situation, we're talking about the freedom of speech and freedom of religion. The woman has the right to express what she believes, and a woman has a right to choose whether to be married or whether not to be married. And I think as women, we sometimes create boxes to put other women in, and we create these cliques where if you don't fit into this clique or this box, we're not going to be friendly to you, we're not going to be kind to you. And that is developing an attitude that is against tolerance and against love and compassion towards each other. Whether you are a woman of faith or not, or whether you're a married or single woman, you can appreciate a woman's right to choose. You can appreciate a woman deciding to live a certain way and saying, this works for me, this makes my femininity work for me and my life. And as truly understanding femininity and as blossoming doves, as I want you all to be, we have an understanding of people's differences. And although we may not agree, we can still be cordial, we can still be kind, we can still be warm, we can still have love and compassion and understanding. But I do understand that a lot of women experience pain in religious sectors, and I get it. And so as a result, they have a hard heart. And they don't really want to hear anything about religion. They don't want to hear anything about God. They don't want to hear anything about Jesus. They don't want to hear anything about church. I get it. I get it. A lot of them, they want their grievances heard. They want somebody to care. And a lot of times that didn't happen. So over time, they've developed a really hard heart towards religion. And it may not just be the Christian religion, it may be other religions out there. I get it. And a lot of them, I wish right now I could give them a hug, so I'm gonna give you a virtual hug. And to feel the love that I'm giving to you. And I understand, and I empathize with you, and I solely wish that that hadn't happened to you. But life happens, and I do understand that. Listen, women of faith, you're going to run into a lot of women that don't want to hear anything you have to say. So you want to make sure that you don't push your views off to them and forcefully, push your views off of them or judge them or call them names, berate them. You don't want to do any of that because that just pours salt in the wound, and that just makes them hurt worse. And let them know, hey, I am so sorry you had to go through that. That must have been a very traumatic, painful experience for you. But you know what? All churches are not like that, and I'm not going to convince you of that. I'm just here to love on you right now. That's it. Right? And a lot of times, sometimes we just need to step back and just acknowledge the pain instead of trying to fix it. You have women of faith who feel attacked. They feel berated and passive-aggressive attacks and belittlement. And I'm here to tell you to stay encouraged and not give up. And women of faith, don't stay and be misused and abused and talked down to and belittled, because that's not a good position either. But at the same time, you want to pray, you want to stay strong, and you want to know that a lot of that comes from hurt. And if you don't lash back out, then people will see that you really are the real deal. Now, here's the way that you can determine if somebody's fake. Men and women who are supposedly people of faith, they are going to be showing progress. They're going to be improving. They're going to give positive influence to others. They're not going to be maliciously out hurting people. And as people of faith, we're supposed to be getting better. Being a woman of faith is not about being perfect. It's not about passing judgment on other people. And when we say we're women of faith, it doesn't mean that we're looking down on people and we're looking and taking score. We're not trying to do any of that. We're just trying to get it right for ourselves. There will be men out there that tell you, if she's, a church girl, you don't date her because she's bad. And there will be people that are speaking from bad experiences, and they want to clump all women of faith in that same barrel. But women of faith, I want you to keep your head high, and I want you to stay encouraged and realize they're coming from a place of hurt, and they're basically letting you know not to mess with me. Don't mess with me, because I'm going to get you in trouble. So don't mess with me. And that's a good sign. You want them to give themselves away. So if they're saying they don't want a woman of faith, good. Can we honestly say we have the virtues of femininity when we lack compassion and love and care and understanding and kindness and grace towards other women, whether we believe the same things that they believe or not? A lot of women want understanding. They want people to understand their story, their plight, yet they have very little leash and time and space and understanding for other women. And so I want to challenge every woman watching this video to really think about how we embrace, how we deal with, how we communicate to other women along our feminine journey. Are we attacking other women, or are we giving them compassion and understanding? Are we seeking to understand before we seek to be understood? Let's talk about married women and single women. And it seems to be this versus. If you're married, you're against single women. And if you're single, you're against married women. But let's also be open-minded. If you're a single woman and you're talking about your travels and your parties and your freedom and your sexuality and your autonomy and your exciting dates and your world travels and things like that, that's all well and good. And that's great. Right? But don't attack a married woman because she's talking about how happy she is with her family and her children. Let's create a community of women all around the world that's loving. A lot of times we talk about feminine influence, but we literally pass up many opportunities to be influential to other women because we're looking at their race. We're looking at their socioeconomic background. Oh, she's married. Oh, she's single. Oh, and it's so many boxes we put each other in, and we take little passive aggressive shots because we don't agree. And literally what that means is you're coming from a place of pain. And I hear you, and feminine ladies, you should hear too. Open up your ears, open up your heart. That's where your influence comes from, is from hearing and having an open heart. That's when you begin to have influence. And the very people that you thought or typically would have walked away from because you have a difference of ideas, opinions, or beliefs, or lifestyles, you tend to find that, wait, this is a good person. I don't agree with half of the stuff that they say, but you know what? On this particular point, we agree. And I think this person is a good person. And I find that a lot of times you may disagree on some things, and they may disagree with you, but then you find a common ground. And that common ground is I get her and she gets me, and we get along and we have a great friendship, and we stay away from topics that we don't agree on. But we're supportive of each other. And that's the beautiful part of womanhood, is that you can support each other even if you don't agree. You don't have to attack her because you don't like what she says or does. You just go, okay, I don't agree, moving on. And that's beautiful, because that means you have growth, and that means you have maturity, and that means you have love. And love doesn't discriminate. Compassion is for everyone. And we as feminine women should learn to be tolerant and not to be so rigid in our thinking and our beliefs that we can expand our circle of love and be compassionate to those who have opposite opinions, opposite thoughts, opposite beliefs and lifestyles. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you listening to me. I appreciate you watching me. Please like, subscribe, and share this video. And remember, dear hearts, I love you and Jesus Christ loves you. And until the next time, keep the faith, baby. Bye.